So the Philadelphia 76ers have finally entered the fray in NBA free agency. We got breaking news from Shams Charania. Free agent forward Trendon Watford has agreed to a 2-year, $5.3 million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. Sources tell ESPN Watford is set to play a potential key role in the 76ers rotation. So yeah, the Sixers and Daryl Morey, they have finally done something. Free agency start at 6 p.m. on June 30th, and we are nearing midnight, but we are breaking down the news here live on NZ for 3. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new around here. I appreciate the rapid growth we have been making recently. Let's keep it going, but let's also get right down to business, man. Let's hear the exciting stuff. So yeah, the 76ers, they have finally signed a power forward. As there's been a lot of rumors recently about Gershon Yabusele leaving the 76ers, and there have been certain teams in the NBA who have been making moves trying to retool their roster, namely the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets, they sent Michael Porter Jr. and I believe an unprotected first-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's a fantastic player, and the Nuggets, they are also trying to now pry away Yabu. According to some insider information, Yabu is set to be a candidate to go to the Denver Nuggets. Everyone's thinking, the Spurs, but it seems like the Nuggets are now emerging to sign him and get him away from the 76ers, and this sucks, man. This sucks because not only is Yabu going to probably leave, I think the writing is on the wall at this point. I think the 76ers in the front office, they know that Yabu is leaving. I mean, this move to sign Trendon Watford in the first place kind of seems like an emergency, like escape route, you know what I mean? Like a fail-safe to, in any case that Yabu does leave. I just don't think that they're just too cash-strapped at the moment, especially when it comes to their plans of re-signing Quentin Grimes. And for him to go all the way, to the Denver Nuggets too, like our supposed, rival team as well. And the Nuggets, they've been shaping up and making themselves, a championship contender again, making some great moves. But we're talking about the Sixers, okay? So, yeah, Trendon Watford heading to the 76ers, and he is if you don't know much about him, he was playing for the Nets last year, started his career in Portland, and was averaging 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. We'll get into that a little bit later, but he does have ties with Tyrese Maxey. Apparently, they are really good friends, and I'm sure, that probably had, to do with him being brought on board. There were rumors that, you had like Trey Lyles and like, Jabari Walker possibly joining the 76ers, but I think, the fact that he already knows Tyrese Maxey, and since he does fit a positional need with the 76ers in a power forward, it kind of does seem like a really logical move for the 76ers to make, and this is a good move by Daryl Morey, in my opinion, man. I mean, Daryl Morey, if there are, a couple of things that he is good at, it is drafting, and it is finding diamonds in the rough. And I'm sure some 76ers fans have no idea who Trendon Watford is. Now, I did know who he was prior to this signing, as whenever he completely just cooked the Sixers last year whenever the Nets played us, when we were trying to tank and get that, top pick. Trendon Watford, he was doing his thing, and he seems to be a power forward, as he is 6'9". He is, has a 7'2" wingspan, is 24 years old. I mean, those are characteristics that you would never see out of a 76ers player like 5 years ago, when they're just prioritized signing, veterans and guys with playoff experience. It was just a bunch of old dudes who were getting played off the floor every single time. And the 76ers, they had so little depth at their front court that some fans were suggesting signing Ben Simmons. That's right, Ben fucking Simmons being brought back to the Philadelphia 76ers, and that is just ridiculous. I mean, that is asinine to ever think that Ben Simmons should put on a 76ers uniform once again. But yeah, we got Trendon Watford instead, someone who actually shoots a basketball. Now, he does not shoot it that well. He shoots, I think, like 2 threes a game at, 33% shooting. So he's not a good shooter by any means. But I think I don't think he's really like a liability either. Not like Matisse Thybulle. I think, he does have a pretty decent shot, and he is willing to shoot the ball. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have that than someone, like PJ Tucker, pump fake PJ, who never shoot whatsoever. We had so many guys play for this team who were scared to shoot the basketball. And Trendon Watford, he could do, a lot of things offensively. He can catch lobs. He could drive to the rim. He does shoot, like 68% at the rim last year, a little bit above the league average. And I think he is someone that the Sixers can use on both sides of the floor. I mean, offensively, of course, you got his scoring, his physical scoring, getting to the rim. And you also have his passing. Now, Trendon Watford, I did mention he averaged 2.6 assists per game last season, and shout out to Austin Krell. Thank you for posting this. It is a fact that Trendon Watford had a 21% assist percentage last season, making that the 92nd percentile. And, of course, it's not showing up on my screen because it's frozen because I'm recording with a MacBook Air. But hey, we move on, man. Shout out to Austin Krell. Thank you for posting that. So he had a 21% assist percentage last season, 92nd percentile, and that's really good, man. I don't think there have been many big men who have played for the 76ers who have had really any, advanced passing capabilities whatsoever. I think we had Nico Batum, and Nico Batum, man, when he was operating that high-low Joel Embiid, it was really magical. I'm not going to lie. And Batum, he's being brought back to the LA Clippers, which is unfortunate because I really wanted the Sixers to sign him because he's one of my favorite Joel Embiid role players ever, man. If you just had to be there, man, Nico Batum and his iconic playing game against the Miami Heat. But, back to Trendon Watford, he's a 6'9" wing. He could slot in at that power forward position, and this is something that the 76ers need. I mean, when you think about it, man, you got Tyrese Maxey as your one. You got either Quentin Grimes, if he's probably going to come back, but Grimes or McCain as your two, Paul George at your three, and then who do you have at your four? Kelly Oubre Jr.? I mean, Kelly, he's definitely a very controversial player for the Sixers. I mean, some would say, like, by, the way some Sixers fans talk about Kelly Oubre, you'd think that he's worse than Furkan Korkmaz. And, Kelly, I don't know if he's really a power forward. I think he does have some competition now that I think about it when it comes to, Justin Edwards taking his minutes and now Trendon Watford. But we'll get to Kelly eventually, man. Trendon Watford, though, he does, fill a role, as a passer, as an offensive hub. Now, that was one of the reasons why they selected, John Hy Broom in the first place in the second round, is because at Auburn, he was an offensive hub and used his passing to really run a fluid offense. And I think that is something the Sixers need when you go, you got plenty of shooters like Maxey, McCain, and Grimes flying off of screens. You could use another post playmaker who can capitalize off of players who are cutting to the basket or flying off screens and, all that stuff. I think that is something that is really valuable to have that sort of offensive connectivity and some creativity for once. And I think that is something that Trendon Watford could do with the Sixers. Now, he is only making, $5.3 million, and that is, when you split that up, that is essentially the veteran minimum. But, Daryl Morey, he has found some diamonds in the rough in his Sixers tenure. Whether it's Kelly Oubre, like love him or hate him, he was almost exiled from the NBA until he was brought on board with the Sixers, and he was playing really well next to Joel Embiid, and they did have a decent record before he got injured when, he tore his meniscus against the Golden State Warriors. And Kelly, he was doing his thing, man. But you got a player like Trendon Watford who sort of fills in more of those gaps when it comes to, rebounding, hustle, and especially passing. I think the 76ers, they have had a passing problem for a while now, ever since, of course, they moved on from James Harden. They could definitely use some more passing, and Trendon Watford, I am really excited for this move, man. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be, going crazy over it. I mean, who really knows if Nick Nurse is going to have any trust in him whatsoever to start him immediately. He does sort of tend to play politics when it comes to contracts and deferring to veterans, and who really knows what's going to happen with Yabu's situation. But, man, I'm really glad that the 76ers, one, they have identified their weaknesses that, everyone has been clamoring for them to address, especially Daryl Morey, man. I mean, Daryl Morey's, flexibility. He admitted himself that, the Sixers, they need to get younger. They need to get more athletic, and that it was sort of a mistake to focus more on veteran players. The fact that he is now going out and getting, younger, whether it was, bringing back Grimes in the first place or drafting VJ Edgecombe, not trading the pick for a more win-now type of player. The Sixers, they're getting younger, adding Justin Edwards, bringing him back as well. The Sixers, they got younger, they got faster, they got stronger, and they're getting tougher as well. And, Trendon Watford, I think he is someone who could play well next to Joel Embiid because, he does shoot the ball. It's not like he's he's going to just a complete liability whatsoever. It's not a very high percentage, but as long as he could hit an open three from time to time, I'll be all for it. But yeah, man, I mean, free agency is just beginning. I think at this point, what the main move for the 76ers for the rest of the offseason, because look, man, we're pretty cash strapped. We don't really have much flexibility other than signing Quentin Grimes because of his status as a restricted free agent. I think the Sixers, they're going to sign Grimes back, hopefully at around like a $70 million deal. I think that's the most realistic one, but if you can get anything below that, because I don't think other teams are really going to go after him. He's probably going to be ending up signing with the Sixers anyway and not have any much competition. I think at most the Brooklyn Nets can offer him like a $60 million deal, and that's really not much. So if the Nets decide to go for that and Grimes accepts it, the Sixers can just match it or whatever, or just give him a little bit of a deal and just sweeten it up and make him come back to the Sixers immediately. I'm fine with that either way, but I'm running out of things to talk about. I'm just, spitting things at this point. I appreciate all the growth. So far, we're continuing to grow reaching over 500 subscribers. Thank you so much. I want to continue the grind. I love doing this, and I appreciate all the support, and we are going to continue to break things down here. So be sure to stay tuned. Hit that notification bell if you feel like it, or if you just hate the way I sound, just, watch someone else, I guess. But, I appreciate it. I appreciate you clicking in the first place. Helps me out a lot. And, Sixers, they finally signed a young player. I mean, I'm just glad they didn't sign fucking Ben Simmons. But that's pretty much all I got. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.